Good day everyone. Today I will discuss to you about the cultural deviance theory, exploring social structured subcultures and deviance. But before that, I will discuss to you first what is cultural deviance theory. So for you to clearly understand what is cultural deviance theory, you imagine a group of young people living in a neighborhood with high unemployment rate or limited opportunities. So because of this, they might lead them to engage in any activities or in any bad activities like stealing, fighting, or dealing with drugs, which are considered criminal or illegal in a wider society. And now that we already define what is cultural deviance theory, let's move on to introduction. The first is cultural deviance theory combines social disorganization and strain theories to explain subcultural behavior. So, cultural deviance theory tries to understand why some people do things that are wrong, like stealing or fighting, just like what I have mentioned earlier. That's the example of wrongdoing. The second one is focus on deteriorated neighborhood and social isolation. This theory look at how living in bad areas where there aren't many chances to succeed. They make people feel frustrated and isolation. The third is explain creation of subcultures with unique rules and values. So when people feel like they don't belong, they often find others who have their similar problems and form their own groups. So this group have their own ways of doing things, which can be different from what most people do. The fourth is highlight with clash between middle class and lower class norms. This group with different rules often clash with the way most people think and act. This clash can lead to troubles, fightings, like breaking the law because people trying to find a way to get ahead or deal with their problems in their own group. Do you get it now, class? And now let's move on to the core concept of cultural deviance theory. It tries to explain why people break the rules. So, here's how it works. The first is poverty and lack of opportunities can lead to frustration. So, when people are poor and don't have many chances to get ahead or to get succeed, they might feel frustrated. It feels like they are stuck in bad situation. Next is subcultures develop distinct norms and values. Because of this frustration they feel, people in this situation often form their own groups with different rules and way of thinking. These groups are called or what we call subcultures. The third is conflict arises between middle class values and subcultural norms because these subcultures often have values in different from the values of the middle class, and this can cause conflict between the two groups that have different ideas about what right and what is wrong. And now class, let's move on to the elements of cultural deviance, the progression of cultural deviance. So, let's take a look to these arrows. The first is the poverty. When people lack with basic resources and opportunities, they might face a difficult or often unfair situation, and because of this it can lead to lack of opportunities. This can mean limited education, employment option, and even basic necessities. This creates frustration and resentment of an individual, and because of this it can lead to their oppression, because they might feel like they are constantly being held back, which can lead to feeling of anger and hopelessness, and it can lead to socialization, because in response to this feeling people may turn to others who share similar experience. They are socialized into subcultures that offer alternative norms and value, and which lead to subculture formation. This shared experience and values lead to formation of distinct subcultures. These subcultures have their own rules and beliefs and behaviors that may clash between the mainstream society. And because of these happenings, or because of these things, this might be the outcome. The first is there, or it include crime. Individual may see crime as a way to overcome the limitation they face, or they might use it for their survival. And also delinquency, which refers to the behavior that violate social norms and laws, often associated with the youths. This behavior might be seen as a way to gain status or respect within the subcultures. And also it can be a criminal careers, because over time or each time individual may develop a pattern of criminal behavior leading to a criminal career. This can be fueled by the subculture's values, limited opportunities, and lack of alternatives. And now class, let's move on to the Torstensselen concept of conduct norms. The first is different social groups have unique rules of conduct. Selens argues that different social groups like ethnic communities have their own unique sets of conduct norms, which or these norms guide how people in that group should behave, often passed down through generation. The second is culture conflict occurs when minority norms clash with dominant laws. The problem arises when these group norms clash with the laws and norms of the dominant society. Selen called this culture conflict, when people from a minority group follow their own conduct norms, they might break the law of the larger society, even if they don't see their action as wrong. For example, of the Silesian father. Defending his family's honor is a classic example of cultural conflict. In some cultures, defending family honor, even with violence, is seen as a duty. However, in many Western societies, violence is illegal. This clash can lead to a misunderstanding and even criminal charges. And now let's move on to focal concern. Walter Miller's focal concern theory explains how certain values common in lower class communities can contribute to criminal behavior. For example, toughness. Physical strength and dominance are highly valued. This can lead to aggression and a willingness to use violence to prove themselves. Also, street smarts. Being streetwise and able to outsmart others is important. This can involve cunning, manipulation, and even criminal activity. And also immediate gratification, because seeking thrills and excitement is a central part of our life. This can lead to risky behavior, including using drugs, alcohol, gambling, and engaging in any illegal activities. Miller argues that this focal concern, when combined, can create a subcultures that encourage and support criminal behavior. For example, a focus on toughness can lead to violence, especially when individuals feel threatened or disrespect. The acceptance of trouble means that violence is seen as a legitimate way to resolve conflict. And also, being a street smart can lead or can be used to commit crimes, and the desire for immediate gratification can lead to impulsive actions such as stealing or engaging in drug dealing. So, class, it is important to note that Miller's theory has been criticized for oversimplifying lower class culture and for potentially reinforcing negative stereotyping. However, it does provide a framework for understanding how certain values and beliefs can contribute to a criminal behavior, especially in marginalized communities.